a lot of solar flares disrupting the internet waves, apparently.
Yeah, there are. I
Myself.
was doing a little research, and they were the I think the C class, which are the ones that will really
Ooh,
kind of will affect us. So,
yeah.
all right. So here we go. Whether we're
Bye,
live on
everybody.
YouTube or not, we're recording this, so it will be posted at a later time, both on my page and Madelaine's. If you don't know who we are, I am Amalia of Karmic, and I am the founder of Karmic Kindness. I'm trying on the moniker of Soul Alchemist right now. So if anyone is curious to learn more about that, send me a message, do a little research, check me out on karmickindness.com and on social. And then I have with me here the amazing Madeleine Parker.
Hello. Yes, thank you, Amalia, for having me as a regular. I really appreciate it. It creates stability. I am not the most disciplined at that, so it's great to have a relationship with a Capricornian. You have Capricorn in your chart, don't you?
I mean, it's in my North Node.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, yeah. Okay, good. So, I really am happy to be here. Hello, everybody who's with us. It's such a great thing to do on a Sunday morning, have a cup of coffee and talk about astrology, my favorite subject. I'm an intuitive astrologer and tarot card reader. And I also connect with guides, and I do always work with law of attraction energies. Your energies are the most important thing in my sessions. So I'm all over the place. I've got major transits going. I've got 5 transits aspecting this huge thing, these triple conjunctions. So I'm a little bit like, woo, because I mean, Uranus is just like this really powerful energy. So we're going to talk a lot about that today.
Yeah.
As I stay nice and calm and don't let these Uranus energies race me, because what happens is with the Mars square, these Uranus energies make you race. And then the square from Mars makes you bump into something or hit somebody, or like I went racing out of my door this morning and almost hit a bike rider.
Yeah.
So it's like you feel this rush and then it's like, boom, watch out. Like, so anytime you feel that rush, just go, whoa.
Yeah. Just take a moment.
Yeah.
Hold on. Slow it down.
Yes. So,
down.
So I might be all over the place today, but if you want a session with me, email me. I shall ground before.
Yes. Yes. So I'll do my best to help kind of
thank you.
keep you on track, and you can do the same for me if I go off the rails a little bit. But I wanted to start out today sharing, you already touched on it a bit, the energy of the last moon cycle, the Leo new moon. We had the Uranus Mars North Node conjunction a couple of days later, like you mentioned, actually 3 days later. And, I just wanted to just briefly go over in just a few words, descriptive words, the energy of that new moon as it relates to this upcoming full moon. I find that for myself is helpful because we can forget, those who watch us from new moon to full moon, every month. I know that even for me, being that this is something that I regularly follow, can sometimes forget, like, okay, where did we leave off the last time we were here and talking? So
continuity. You're like a film producer seeking continuity.
And let's just keep that rolling so that people can follow along with the story for themselves. So my story, Madelaine's story, will be different than yours, whoever's watching. However, the overarching energies will be similar. So I wrote down a few words. I was just feeling into the energy and wrote a few words that felt resonant with the Leo new moon, and then a few that relate to the Aquarius full moon. And so for the Leo new moon, that felt very fiery, a bit aggressive, creative. There were unexpected events, potential for unexpected events. There was definitely a shift, and that shift for most likely felt a little bit uncomfortable. And there was a sense of willpower, either activation or an energy that is moving you towards willpower. And what I mean by willpower is more maybe discipline in a certain area or dedication to something. Or if a creative idea came up, what are you going to do with that creative idea? So now we have Aquarius, an Aquarius full moon ruled by Uranus. Okay, Uranus was
Leo.
which is opposite Leo, that energy was already at play based on the conjunction that we just talked about. So Aquarius is illuminating, contemplative, think outside the box. And so then we have Uranus. If you think about that Uranus energy, that's innovation and change and progress and unexpected. Again, it's that unexpected is a key theme, I think, that's really popping up. And so if you want to look at yourself in this storyline of these moons, can you think outside the box when it comes to whatever creative project you have in front of you, or some talent maybe that was revealed to you that in these past few weeks, and maybe not just in the past 2 weeks from this moon cycle, but maybe a month ago or 2 months ago, that you can now take forward in some way that's unique and different? Because we've got this Aquarius energy that really is this new way of thinking, a new way of being, of like the mantra, or of, if you will, for Aquarius is I know. So what is it that you know inside of yourself? Fill in that blank. I know I am here for big things. I know this fill in the blank project is important. I know I need to get my ass to the gym. I know, like, whatever that is for you, really tune into that. So I just wanted to start there, Madelaine, if I'm glad you allowed that space for that, because I think it's helpful to have a sense of the story as it unfolds.
Yeah, I think that's interesting. Well, I guess if I look back at the Leo new moon, you see, for me, that wasn't much of an impact because I don't have any Leo planets, but it was opposing my Saturn. So there is definitely, and then I'm having personally, if we're going to talk about personally, I have this full moon exact on my Saturn squaring Uranus. It's one of the transits that I'm going through, which is really tilting me. So it is possible that my main, looking at my chart, because I have a lot of sextiles going to my Neptune in my 5th house, which also has my South Node on it. So not to complicate everything, but basically it's very possible that I become tilted onto a creative project focus more. I haven't seen that come up yet. So sometimes the new moon is behind the scenes and you don't see it.
Yeah.
You haven't seen the seed is underneath. And from my experience in studying astrology for as long as I've been doing it, and that is like the really great way to learn astrology. Yes, it's good to have teachers, but the other great way is to really study your chart as you go through these transits, and then you can see firsthand exactly how that's playing out. And so you become an observer of your life, which is actually the healthiest way to live life, rather than the sort of just being thrown around by circumstances. You are a co-participant here. You realize that you have to consciously align with what's going on, and that's what astrology does for me. But there's definitely some awakenings going on in my own psyche, because this is the energy of awakenings, because it's an Aquarius full moon. So there's an awakening happening. And I think you're right when you say you know something, but I think you're awakening to it. I don't know that you knew it. It's deep. The full moon will do that. It will reveal a deep truth. And I'm seeing how my path, you're going to see, because Aquarius is for the people. It's out in front of the people. It's amongst the people. It's oddball. It's being your own individual, unique self, and it's liberating. It's ruled by Saturn. So this is a Saturn full moon, which is going to be challenging. It's a square. This is not easy full moon. It's frustrating. Things are going to get blocked. Things are possible because Mars isn't so far from this conjunction. I think Mars is at this full moon is happening at 19 degrees and Mars is at 21 or 22, 20 something 2 degrees at this full moon. So it's of Taurus squaring Aquarius, because it's a fixed sign. So you're seeing security being rattled. Taurus is all about financial security, and there's a square to Uranus, which is liberating. So the energy of stuckedness there's already something going on in everybody's life where they're working towards liberation in some way. It is wherever you have Saturn transiting your chart, whatever house Saturn is in is trying to liberate you, because it's in retrograde, so it's trying to liberate you from some sort of stuckness. There's a way through coming in this full moon, but that there's something that has to be redone, has to be done right. The government may be involved with what it is that needs to be done right. You may need to readjust something, and we'll go through it all the signs, but Saturn is the boss ultimately, because it rules how things can work for the long haul. It knows it's not necessarily our friend. It's a tough love friend. It is for our highest good. But anyway, sorry if I'm rambling on about it, but it's definitely shifts and changes occurring. This full moon will activate that. These full moons are very powerful. They're like, especially if you have any planets around them, you're going to see mega shifts and changes, radical, like out of the blue, liberating ideas, innovations that enable us to sort of progress through rigid stuckness. Does that make sense?
I think the basic theme of what you're saying is it will help push you through anywhere that you are currently stuck.
Right, but it's going to be frustrating. Yeah.
And you'll be the pathway through will be revealed. So you want to jump into the signs. We'll start here with Aries.
Let me pull my chart up here and get to that, since I got it right here. So Aries, you guys have this full moon. Aquarius is in your, let's go here. Aquarius covers your 11th house, Aries. Wow. So that's like double whammy. You've got your full moon in your 11th house squaring your Taurus second house of finances. So some sort of a friendship group you might have been holding on to a friendship group that wasn't necessarily right, that now you have to let go of, but a better friendship group's going to sort of tribe or some sort of a friend, some sort of, shall we say, internet tribe or groups of people that you may have been holding on to for wanting to sort of liberate yourself from some sort of a financial thing. Like, for instance, let's say you were running an Instagram feed to raise money for something and it's not working. And so now you really are, it's blocked and it feels really frustrating. It hasn't worked. You put a lot of time and energy into it. So now there's going to be a culmination of that block. Maybe you quit it, but then you find some other better way using your tribe group. Word of mouth opens you up better. And then you meet a new tribe group that connects you. And then the word of mouth, it spreads better that way, or some kind of a shift and change that was blocking your 11th house, which is tribes and friends, that was not coming through because of the types of friends that you had. So it's like, it was a block because you were limited by this group of people and you wanted liberation through them, but now you're going to kind of break through that group of people to a new group of people, and you're not going to care. A lot of this energy is going to be, I don't care anymore about what you think of me, because Uranus is all about throwing your eccentricities out, letting your freak flag fly, being you, and not worrying necessarily about what people think of you. So Aries might just break through that limited perception of who their friends are that's been limiting their life, trying to fit in a group, their identity, that kind of a thing. And then that opens them up to another way to earn their finances, which is much more open and fluid. So it's like the breakthrough happens in a monetary way for them because it liberates them financially. All of this will have a form of liberation financially for everybody.
So it's the Aries
after the blockage is dealt with, because Saturn wants you to deal with something. Go ahead.
So after the friend group shift that takes place, that's when there will be some sort of financial shift, because I feel like there might be people watching who are thinking, well, my work has nothing to do with my friends groups. There's no
Right.
connection there.
Yeah.
So
Well,
would you say that it may not be a direct connection in that way, and that, Taurus is also, it's not just finances, so it could be something, related to.
romantic. Yeah, except because it could be because it's ruled by Venus. So all these planets are ruled by Venus, but the square aspect to Aquarius, and because of what's going on with Saturn right now. So Saturn being in retrograde, being in this, it's a Saturn ruled eclipse, I mean, full moon. So the dominating aspect of this is going to be relationship, if it's in your relationship house, but it's dominating energy of this full moon is to make you deal with something that needs to be dealt with so that you can progress. So that you can be liberated, but you got to go back and you got to do the right thing, and you got to use structure, and you got to listen to Capricorn. There's rules, but there's a balance too, because it's an Aquarius, which means this is the path towards liberation. So it's
I guess
like
my question is related to the financial part of it, is that it may be there may be a financial piece to this, but maybe
hugely
not.
so. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yes, it could be romantic, but mostly it would be financial, because yes, it could be romantic, but the financial aspect is the bull, the Tauran bull of finances, Wall Street, because of the fact that it partners with Aquarius, which is also a financially liberating energy. So it's tending to sort of partner those two energies together, because like in astrology, we want to look at the full picture, but there's this dominating Saturnian energy in all of this, which is, yes, you can go out and play, but you got to do the dishes first.
Right. Yeah, I get
it. And it's not what you want to do, because Saturn will reveal the thing that you don't want to do that needs to be done.
Yeah. Gotcha. That makes sense.
Yeah. So Aries is going to be liberated financially through breaking through some sort of limitation and you were right to bring up the Leo thing, because there is probably a creative project involved, and they have to not worry about what the people think of them. Breakthrough, like, that's when you become suddenly successful. That's like that sudden success you get over your ego, over what people think of you, over your being perfect. In fact, the more imperfect you reveal about yourself, the more relatable you are to the fellow man. That then galvanizes us. That makes us understand we're all in this together, which is what Aquarius is all about. That's why astrology is so important right now, because it shows that we're all in this together. It depends on how your frequency, as to how you allow it to play out, shadow aspect or positive aspect. So with these squares, the more aware you are of it, the more you can be conscious to make sure that you play out the positive aspect of it.
So let's talk about Taurus. Let's see what positive aspects those Taurus folks
Taurans, where did I put my chart here? I dance around my laptop here. Okay, where are you guys? Oh, it's there. It's there. I pulled it all the way to the bottom. Okay. So Taurus, you guys, of course, are having all of these planets conjunct your first house. So Taurans are so secure. It's so great to have Taurans in your life, because they always have a couch you can rely on. They're stable. You've always got somewhere to stay. So, but now might not be that case. Taurans might be very rebellious right now and break free and say, I'm done. I'm going to rattle my sense of security. The South Node, remember, is in Scorpio, which is fear-based, letting go of fear-based attachments that are filling up an empty void, that are filling up something that we think we need to have to fill ourselves, and we're not going to get it. So it's like, let it go. It's frustrating. And so for Taurus, you guys have Aquarius in your 10th house of career, maybe sudden crazy quitting of jobs and emancipating themselves and setting themselves free and being more on the road and just surprising everybody. Taurans are going to surprise everybody. They're going to take big rebellion leaps of faith, because Taurans are the most secure, driven, they're fixed. Uranus on your ascendant, I mean, that's a lifetime thing. That's only going to happen once in your life. And the North Node on your ascendant, everybody has, this is a real shift in society, because we've all been security based for the last paradigm. We're really pulling out of a security based paradigm and finding life retrieved through breaking out of that, through breaking out of that security based paradigm. We're finding life, it's reigniting us. In Vedic, this is all in Aries, so it's like that reigniting passion to live a more authentic, inspired life. So Taurans are going to have this rebellion. I'm getting out of this cage I created for myself. And with Aquarius in your 10th house, a new opportunity, a liberating careers thing can happen. You could retire, you could liberate yourself, career could suddenly become, but again, there's a frustration blocking you from this. In this full moon is going to stop you from some reason. Like, let's say you want to retire, but it says, nope, you need 6 more months of these days for you to qualify for this amount. So just do 6 more months. And you're just like, I really want to retire and be free and travel, So for Taurans, there's going to be frustrations, but you're ready to bust out and live your more free, risky life and trust the divine that you will land safely. But also the Taurans have set up enough security that they can, the Taurans that are going to bust out, they're not going to ever really throw themselves into extreme states. But
so how would you say this Aquarius energy, though? I'm not seeing a connection necessarily with Aquarius and Taurus.
The career.
Yeah. And then you've got the sun is in Leo, which is, another factor.
Fun, joy, sun. Yeah. Well, because of the Aquarian on their 10th house, they might suddenly break free. They might suddenly get fired from a job. They might suddenly, or they'll see that they have to be restricted. Their job restricts them, even though they've got this dynamic of wanting to be liberated. But then they're going to find a restriction that they really can't do. And it's like there's a balance here to manifesting, that we're going to wake up to the refining, that there's a refinement needed. So it's like there's the rules, there's Saturn is in there. So we got to listen to the long haul, got to obey the universal laws to manifesting. And grounding Aquarius, any kind of Saturn energy, it's like, you're going to get to be free, but you got to wait another 3 months. Be patient. Things have to line up right, so that it sustains you for the long haul. Because if you have 3 more months to get the right amount of money, your retirement, let's say, you're restricted in some level by the laws or regiments, the government or rules that then liberate you, but you have to conform first, because Saturn is in the darn picture and there's a square. So,
So that's probably going to be an issue for most of the signs.
Yes, everybody
have this.
Yeah. I say everybody just go kayaking or something, or go swimming for the next couple of weeks. Don't try too hard to do anything, because you're going to get squared. I mean, anything you try to do with your career right now, some people it's going to be stronger, but really you're supposed to become more introspective. Why do we have squares? It's to slow us down, so that we really do align with what we truly want, not with some sort of, in other words, we align with our soul's truth, because that's what's going to sustain, because we've had Jupiter and Aquarius in retrograde, Saturn in retrograde right now. So we have to go back, do something right, then you can go, then you're free. And the reason that is because if you don't do it the right way, it's going to be shambles later. The universe has these laws. So Saturn's about the long term. So just conform, be patient. Don't push it during these energies. Kick back, have coffee, enjoy the day, enjoy the weather. I'm going to go paddleboarding. So,
Perfect.
It's like just flow with it. No resistance. Let the square come in, because it's tilting you the right way.
Got it. So let's see about Gemini.
Yes. So Gemini, oh, what did I do my chart? Darn it. I got to put it somewhere. Every time I put it down, I can't see it because I see you. So okay, there it is. Okay. So Gemini has Aquarius in their ninth house, Taurus in their 12th, which is not easy, not easy. Taurus in their 12th, Aquarius in their ninth. This is very sort of a spiritual, 12th is about the soul. And then to have Taurus in their 12th, and it's Aquarius in the ninth is like beliefs, travel, education, other cultures, and it's squaring your Taurus house, which is your 12th house, this is a very internalized energies. Gemini probably radically shifted very internally, become very internally focused, reevaluating some belief systems, spirituality. I feel like Gemini are really wanting to shock the world with who they are, like to come out in some shocking new way that surprises everybody. Because Gemini, the Sagittarius is the ninth and third houses. That's a very Gemini axis, that information, higher knowledge information, and information like academic information, and then wisdom, higher knowledge, higher consciousness wisdom. So it's almost like I feel like Gemini want to find the real, they want to do something that matters, that changes the world on some sort of spiritually advancing, optimistic, they want to make a splash energy, and it's blocking them. And it's like there's some sort of square to this, knowledge of their truth, or knowledge of what they believe, or understanding, and it's frustrating them, if that makes sense. But also there's travel blocks, so possibly sort of out in the country or retreats, because the 12th house is the country out, institutions. So I'm thinking of a Gemini. I know, maybe let's say you're a Gemini and you're opening an art gallery and you're traveling around the world. I know a Gemini who does that. And maybe there's a blocking of some sort, with the restrictions in that community or that world, or that in a rural area, is restricting some sort of project. It's kind of hard to blend those two energies together, but there's definitely an awakening to something about, because if we put the South Node in your sixth house, you're really shifting to a more spiritual motive, and not in your work. And it's like, it doesn't fill your cup unless there's something about your soul that's like expressing itself in this new venture that you're going on. It's like, the Gemini is not satisfied with just normal information. They want to bust into the ninth house information, which is higher consciousness. They want to break through to a new paradigm, almost, if that makes sense. I have a friend who has a Gemini sun too, that she's definitely doing that. She's breaking through the barriers of her form of artwork, where she works through like not just doing it the old-fashioned way, the way that it's always done. She's breaking through to a new way of expressing her art and her writing together. And it's like, it's very different. So, but it's going to be eccentric, because Uranus is eccentric too. Individual. I mean, quirky.
I find too with Geminis, they're, the twins. So there's often these two sides to them. So sometimes they present as a very put together person, and then you go to their home and it's cluttered and chaotic. Right. So the way you were describing it, what was coming through for me was that perhaps for those who have Gemini, there is a sense of being able to see this other side of themselves and present that in a more public way.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a sense they can integrate that a little bit better. Yes. And bust through what they feel like other people expect of them or want of them, or they can show that other side of them in a more authentic, spiritually balanced way. I don't know if that makes sense exactly, but
yeah, yes, they want to shock people. They want to they want to be like, come out of exposure of some sort of eccentric version of themselves that gives them attention. And it not, that sounds negative, but it's like, they don't want to just be safe anymore. They want to break out. And so, because Taurus is in their 12th house, so it's the soul, it's the truth, it's their past lives drama holding them back, that they don't want to like let it hold back anymore. And it's insecurities about, because then if we go to Aquarius in their 9th house, so it's almost like a belief system, but it also could be writing and publishing as well, and teaching and learning and all this. But if I match it with that square to the Uranus thing, and it's like, it's definitely shocking people with beliefs, suddenly becoming super spiritual or something, and really blowing people away. Like, you know, being a medicinal salesman, because Gemini can be really good salesman, and now suddenly going holistic and selling herbs, and you've been like a doctor or something radical about who you are, your soul, your karma was, because that 12th house is so kind of karmic. It's not a fun house. So it's almost like a truth you can't not live anymore is going to go,
Well, that'll be fun for them.
yeah. Hopefully easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's
Okay,
move on.
so
Let's move on to Cancer.
So this is going to be Cancer. You have Aquarius in your 8th house, and then you have Taurus in your 11th. So Sun, new acquaintances, new friendship groups will activate a career shift and change, most likely activating, 8th house, Saturn transiting your 8th house, possibly financial support, but something that financially has been blocking Cancer from progressing in some way, from some sort of financial blockage, money tied up in property, things like that, seems stuck. Let's say you are refinancing your property. It might seem stuck and it's frustrating, but you want to wait this out, because refinancing your property, you're going to get a better loan, a better deal, and you're going to be glad that it was blocked. So Saturn's going to block that this full moon is going to block something that you're working on. That, and by the way, everyone, this is areas you've been working hard in, and that you've been wanting materialization. And these are big things. This is a big thing you're materializing. This Aquarian full moon at Saturn, it's very serious energy. So these are like important big things. And so this is going to have to be done the right way. You got to be patient. I say go kayaking, go paddleboarding, go on a little bit of a vacation, go enjoy the sun, be patient. Don't focus on the blocks. Focus on the fact that on the other side, it's going to get worked out magically some way. But the Saturn, this Uranus squaring the nose, as a shift and a change is occurring, and it will open up for you on the other side, but it has to be done following the rules and regulations. Like you have to be patient for the structure to be done right, so that it sustains you for the long haul. You can't rush it. The right thing is going to be done, and it's going to be blocked if it's the wrong thing, everybody. And it might not be, again, with Saturn, is Capricorn. It often goes against your will, strong will. And Mars is a very strong-willed energy too. So Mars is squaring us. So it's like, I can see how this is playing out in my life. As I'm talking, I'm just sitting here going, oh shit. I'm sitting here going, how can I rewrite this so it's my way, you know?
Yeah.
But the universe is in charge here. So we learned that with the South Node in Scorpio, which is a fear we're going to have to let go of. Trust in the universe, trust the flow. The resistance is going to show up big time. But on the other side, again, this shall pass. That's the beautiful thing about astrology, is these squares will bring you the right results. And you just don't always have control of how that is. And it's for your better that you don't.
Yeah.
Because you're limited mentally. We are limited. We are humans. We are not the universe. Our mind is limited. So we have there's a higher knowledge, which is why I love astrology. So
Well, and it
Okay.
is true that we can set goals for ourselves and have these dreams that we are moving towards, which are great. We all need that. And the universe may have something very different in store, and it could be beyond our wildest dreams, or it could take us down a path we don't expect, which at first seems like the most horrible thing ever. Then we realize it was actually the best thing that could have possibly
Yep.
happened. It just
That's
may not
exactly
show
right.
up in the time
That
frame
you
that
want.
we'd prefer.
And the bigger, the more important the materialization, the more significant it is, the more blocks you're going to have around it. If they're not, like, let's say you call, because I have a workshop, I teach people how to call and manifest, right? And how to use that energy. But if you call for something big and important, and you don't understand why there's so many blocks, it's because there's that materialization, that big and important thing that you're materializing has to be right, has to be the right, you know what I mean? So your head is gonna take you the wrong way on that. Unless you're really super tuned in, it's hard to do that, but that's what I try to teach people to do. So you do line up. But the big important lifelong 30-year structures that are being built that will last 30 years take longer to adjust, to create, so it's done in the right spot. Like building a house, you got to make sure you do it on the right ground. You got to make sure that ground is right where you're building it, you know, all of that, and then you build. So it takes time. The more you focus on that, and that's what these energies are going to call everyone to do, is to focus. The more you focus on that, the better your foundation. The better your foundation, the better the next layer, and the better the next layer, and the better the next layer. So you want to take the time to do the right thing, and it may not be what you want, but your soul wants it because it's better for you in the long run.
Perfect.
So
there we go. Everyone just remember that.
Yeah.
Very simple. Not easy, but simple.
Yeah.
All right. So
Not
Leo.
easy.
Yeah.
Okay, Leo. You have Taurus in your 10th house. Wow. Careers really like kaboom, shift and change to a real, like your real deal, the real thing here for you guys. And then you've got Aquarius in your 7th house of Leo have Aquarius in their 7th house. That's right. So they have Taurus in their 10th house, Aquarius in their 7th. So a relationship, a frustration, some sort of emancipation that you've been seeking through a relationship has been blocked or stuck. And now there's going to be some kind of emancipation or some sort of breakthrough with your career, but also this could involve a partnership. So now when you were asking about romance, this could be romance, but the 7th house can be a lawyer, it can be a law relationship, any kind of a contracted relationship. So some kind of a career. You may have always wanted to have a business relationship, partnership with someone to run a business, because this is involving your career. And you suddenly meet the right person who you can do it, but you guys can't do it yet.
So this would be something that would be a contractual relationship.
Yes, contractual.
It's not like, oh, we're just going to do this thing together. It's more whomever it's with. It's either going to be with a partner that you're in a marriage with, or a business relationship where you sign a contract. These are your thing.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
And so on the other side of this turns into very likely a very strong 30-year cycle business relationship. Now it could be your true person. You could suddenly get into a serious relationship and you now start to build the structure for a 30-year future down the road together. You get involved in some kind of a project, some kind of a building project, but your career is very involved in this. You could have a sudden radical shift in your career. But now don't forget, we've got a square. So we're squaring your 10th house with your 7th house. It could be frustrating that you and your partner have to work separate for a while because she travels or you travel, or there's a big breakage and it's very frustrating. So you can't go forward on a project with that person. Some kind of separation or some kind of a blockage occurs with a relationship or a work project. That's frustrating. But then on the other side of this, just be patient. This has to be done first. Because maybe then let's say you're in a relationship with someone and they have to go away and you wanted to start a project with them. Well, you have to be patient, because this now after that's done, they are now really freed up to focus on your project. So it is for the good, even though it feels like you want it now, because it's going to liberate you from your work situation, something like that. So, yeah.
Totally makes sense, at least for this Leo.
Yeah. Okay, good. So now we're looking at Virgo, who have Taurus in their 9th house and Aquarius in their 6th house. Taurus is 9th, Aquarius is 6th. That would be, because the 9th house can be travel, other cultures, and you have Aquarius over your 9th, right? Am I saying that right? Aquarius over
No, Aquarius is over the 6th.
Okay, Aquarius is over the 6th. So Virgo may have found themselves stuck in a job, day-to-day routine job for money job, and they can't leave because it's their security. And in retrograde, they're finding a way through that job, and they want to travel maybe. Wait, did we say Virgo? What's in their 9th? Yeah, Taurus is in their 9th.
Taurus is the 9th.
Yeah. They want to break free maybe and go to school or study, or start their own training courses, become more of an independent worker, teaching or something. But they're stuck in a day-to-day job and they can't make that crossover, and it's driving them crazy. They're frustrated. But now the 9th house with this, either an opportunity opens up, they can't do it yet, to travel, or they can't because they're stuck in a job. So there's something they have to do. They have to wrap up. They have to apply to another job. They have to do it the right way. They have to ask for promotion over there. Something has to be done the right way. You got to go back. It could even be an old work opportunity opening up that enables you to travel, but you can't now because you got to come up with the money to buy the airplane ticket. So you can't do it yet. But the frustration is there and the way out is there, but there's something that needs to line up right. Like maybe another position is going to open up that's even better in that place. Somebody's leaving and the universe wants you to wait. So some kind of a blockage in your work that you're trying to get out of, you're trying to be free from, and day-to-day routine that feels like a trap, that you're going to find a way through, but not yet. You have to be patient. You have to do this. You have to either, you don't want to get fired or you don't want to quit because then you lose some sort of benefit package or pay or something. So you got to be patient. You got to deal with somebody you don't want to deal with, but you got to write it out. An enemy, because work environment, there's 6th house can also be sort of an enemy. You have to deal with people. You know, you're trapped in a day-to-day thing going on that you're trying to get out of, that you can't, but you will. It's just, you got to be patient because there's a proper plan for your life. An opportunity is going to open up that is the right way through. I forget that we have a sun trining Jupiter too. You know,
so it's interesting with every sign you've shared so far. The common thread of it is there's something in your life that you're not enjoying. There
stuck.
Seems to be a path out, but you can't take it yet. And you just need to be patient and wait for all of the pieces to line up.
Yep. And it's so funny because when I do reads for people lately, I just get the Temperance card over and over, and everyone's like, please, I do not want to see that card. I'm like, I know it's coming out for me too.
And for those who are not familiar with tarot, it's basically just
let's see if it comes out. It'll probably come out.
Be patient. Just be patient. It's all happening for you. It's just not as
fast as we want, but
not yet.
See the radical, and then we've got this, it's that radical energy at the same time. It's start, stop, start, don't start. Start, wait. It's that crazy energy. So look at this though. I forget to mention these are really abundant opportunities opening up. It's deceptive in the sense that this Aquarian moon feels heavy, by the way. Everyone's going to feel a little bit depressed. Saturn squaring all these planets is depressing. It's heavy. It's seeing stuff that you screwed up on. Like I told you, I screwed up on something. I feel like crap about it, but it's like it happens because we're not perfect. But anyway, it's not as bad as you think. It's a deception. Things are financially very abundant for many people, for many, many people. These transits are good and strong. There's a lot of like a Venus transit involved. I don't have the full chart up here, but there's a lot of other really good. Well, we have Venus opposing Pluto, which sucks.
I mean, it doesn't, I guess maybe it doesn't suck. It just doesn't feel, it feels sucky.
Yeah, there's other transits going on. I'm not talking about, we're focusing on the moon one. So, but there's a lot going on right now. Shifts and changes are definitely happening.
Yeah. So let's shift to Libra, if you don't mind. So we can
let's go to Libra. Yep.
What's happening with them.
Libra, they have Taurus in their 8th house, and then they have Aquarius in their 5th. So Libra have Taurus in their 8th. So Aquarius in your 5th would be some kind of a creative project that's been blocked, or some kind of a creative or joy, even just joy in your life or fun in your life has been blocked for Libra rising. Things have been very serious, heavy duty, because Pluto's in your 4th house involving family or home life. So with Taurus in the 8th house, for Libra, I'm sorry. Yeah, Taurus in the 8th house. So some kind of a frustration around, you may have been trying to refinance a property or open up your finances in some way or raise money, or has been very frustrating, very blocked. And that's going to suddenly open up because of a creative project comes in or an opportunity, but also a relationship or friendship could happen, but also you could be freed of a relationship or friendship because the full moon in your 5th house might reveal you've got the south node will be in your 2nd house. So you're going to let go of some kind of other way of earning money, and you're going to somehow get some kind of a windfall or a way that some kind of financial income from a spouse, someone else, or a bank or money raised that sets you free, possibly from a relationship, but also possibly from a stuck situation that you haven't been able to have fun in, or you haven't been able to take on a creative project, or some sort of a commitment, because Aquarius in your 5th house would have there's something that has prevented you from being able to take on some sort of exploratory new higher financial dream or goal that you're now, there's still some sort of snag there, but you're getting out of it, so that it liberates you financially to enable you to access some sort of higher financial outsource.
Well, so something else that's coming through for me is the 5th house aspect.
Yeah.
And that is perhaps somebody is looking to conceive and they've been blocked. And there could be some new information that comes in that helps them, change something that they're doing, and in that regard as well. Yeah,
they could suddenly open up and have sex and have great sex, and then they get pregnant because they've been blocked. Because 8th house is sexuality. The 5th house is also pleasing, what pleases you. So it is very possible that Libra have this big opening up of their chakras, sexual chakras, and they open up and they become free, and they know they're what's been inhibiting them, for really enjoying sex. And it because the 5th, or pleasing, or they haven't been taking care of the 5th house is what pleases you, and they haven't been. And the 8th house is kind of like your truth, your authentic soul, your truth. So maybe they've been, because the 5th house can also be superficial, gambling or playing or escapes, or so it's like the 8th house can be addictions too, because it's Scorpio. So it's like waking up to what they've done that's superficial and escapist, that isn't true, in alignment with their more authentic. Scorpio's more authentic, real, as well as can be addiction and the opposite, but like sexual pornography or something, like waking up to having an addiction to sexuality and then saying, I want real sexual connection, realizing that you're really looking for that, but you didn't know, having a breakthrough there, something like that for Libra. These are big breakthroughs that change your life for 30 years that have been restricting you, and that will cause a big shift. This is why these opening portal happen, so that these shifts and changes can happen, so that they knock you. It's like that square. It's like, come on, man, boom.
Let's go.
Get out of this deal. Like, do something. Like, make that shift. It's you're lagging. So Libras are going to be knocked into a truer sexual relationship type deal, or they go into a super duper false one that they then combust. It combusts on some level, because the square is changing a stuck situation, but you got to do it the right way. You got to grow up.
So you mentioned Scorpio a second ago. I'm curious how this will play out for the Scorpios in that.
Yeah, let's take a look at the Scorpios. So you guys have your South Node on you. So you guys are really dropping a whole entire toxic way of existing altogether. Whatever, listen, everybody's got Scorpio in there. Everybody has this fear of security. It's common. You got to have so much spirituality in your, you got to do so much spiritual work to clear that these complete 0 point and zero fear. It's insane. And it's worth working at. Achieving is one thing, but Scorpio, it's almost like head on, like really deal with that, like right now, because they've got the South Node on their ascendant. So it's like, let go of that fear of security-based choices, being more authentic. And then so that's a biggie. So then they've got Taurus in their 7th house. So something radically is going to open up in their relationships, because the Uranus is in their 7th house. So they're either going to break free from a relationship and go their true path, or the relationship will break through and the true path then is ignited in that relationship. But there will be a clash with Aquarius, which is in their 4th house of home. So property and real estate. So you either move out, shift living conditions drastically, and a new, better way. But again, there's a frustration, stuckness in that process that has to be done right, because maybe the right place for you to move hasn't opened up yet. But some kind of a 7th house change or shift is held back by a property, a situation involving a property or real estate or home or family or mother. And so you got to go back. Something has to be done right around that issue in order to be liberated to make the changes that you want to make with the 7th house. So the 7th house is contracted relationships. So you either break a contract and are relieved of one, and then you are free and liberated, or through a relationship you become contracted that now liberates the relationship to go forward into some sort of a business contracted or next project that it will set you on the path for the next 30 years for the long haul. You could suddenly sign a contract with your mate over a property, and you move all of a sudden, boom. That could happen for Scorpio. And then you guys move, or something discovered about your property. There's water rot, you have to leave, and then you have to move, and then you get to redecorate the house in a way that's amazing, and you add another room on it, and you can expand a project, turn it into a studio, and you and your partner become in business together, filming little short demonstration videos of how to make pottery. I don't know. I'm just being silly with that.
That was quite a story.
But like, something is going to tilt you because of a property, some kind of a contract that you can't break. You got to be patient around. but you're going to end up being happy you did, because maybe another property opens up that's perfect for you to go forward. But something has to align first in your relationship, because it's Taurus. So it's possible an opportunity comes in and a contracted situation comes in with a relationship that makes you have to move or change a living situation. But you can't do it yet because of the living situation change, or something is restricted. But then you have to be patient and wait. And this waiting game is like, is it going to work out? Is it going to work out? Energy.
Yeah.
So, that's going to be happening. But trust, because we've got Scorpio in the South Node, which means have devotion, which means trust. It's just trust, relax, surrender, and just let the universe figure it out right now with these energies. Because
Yeah. I
we've
think
all
that's
done what we can at this point. So it's like the universe we're handing it over. Okay, so now we're in Saggies. So
yes.
Saggies are having this in their third house. So sudden opportunities, but so like, for instance, I know of a Sagittarius who doesn't have a car, who's been blocked because they haven't had a car, and maybe some sort of short distance travel opportunity opens up, but they can't do it because they don't have a car. And then Taurus, sixth house, suddenly squares because they don't have a job. And I know a Sagittarius like that. They don't have their jobs, or so suddenly a job opportunity is coming, but it's blocked, so they can't do something. They have to wait. But because they've got Taurus, oh, I'm sorry, Sagittarius, they have Taurus in their sixth house. So a project, a sudden change or shift in the sixth house on a work day-to-day thing is opening up an opportunity, sudden changing that squares their third house, and they can't do it because they don't have a car. There's blockages, or the short distance travel is
Right.
possibly blocked. So but also you want to be careful, because if you have a square in your third house, you want to be careful for traveling and accidents. So you might be being blocked from getting in an accident. So don't push anything that's blocked. Don't push it. If you are blocked from driving a car right now, listen, because you're getting a square to your third house. A lot of car accidents happen to squares in the third house. I've seen it. I do this chart reading. I can see it. I have friends, when they have Mars squaring Mars in their third house, they got into an accident.
And you could be on a bike too.
It's true.
So just transportation in general.
Yes.
Yeah.
So be careful not to be frustrated because you can't go somewhere and you force it, and then maybe you get into an accident. So be careful. And Taurus is in the sixth house. So a breaking and opening up of something, don't worry, it's going to happen. You'll get there. It'll just be patient. It's just some things have to be in line first. It's not quite ready, but the opportunity is there. The change is going to occur in your day. This new life, or this opportunity is going to change your day-to-day life. You're going to have to be more disciplined. It's going to be challenging, but you have to practice more. Something is going to occur that's going to require more day-to-day diligence as a result of this opportunity, but you'll be able to get a car. So anyway,
So it'll all work out.
Yeah, basically everything will work out at the end of the month, and you'll see that. I think apparently towards the end of September, it's all go, because we have these planets in retrograde. So we really are being asked to set things up right. And I'm okay with that. I don't mind kayaking for a while, or paddleboarding, and letting the universe figure it all out for a while,
Well, especially when the weather's nice in Idaho.
Yeah, and the sun is in Leo, which is like, we're supposed to be out and play in sun in Leo. This is the whole zodiac runs around the sun. It's like sun time, Leo time is fun time.
Right.
So maybe our careers are supposed to be squared, because then you align more. You come out of these periods, or because Saturn is squaring. So most people's work career things are going to be blocked during a Saturn square. It's frustrating because anything you try to do is going to be blocked. But maybe it's so that you do go out and play in the sun, which is exactly what's going to happen for me anyway.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of those who do not enjoy playing and would rather
Capricorn. Yeah.
How is this going to play out for Capricorn?
So they have Taurus in their fifth house, and then they have Aquarius in their second house of financing. So a blockage in some form of earning money or some sort of financial income for Capricorn. because they've had some sort of financial income blockage through their own resources, the way that they earn money, and some kind of a, because Taurus is in the 5th house, some sort of creative project, possibly involving your child, or being let's say you want to be an at-home mother, but you can't because of a job, and you want to be able to stay, because 5th house is Taurus with children, maybe working at home, but the way you earn money is you have to go to this one job first. You still got to do these couple ways of earning money before you can go to this other creative way of earning money that emancipates you. And until you learn something about creativity, and this is Capricorn, very big for Capricorn, very, very big. Capricorn are coming here to learn to be less Capricorn and more creative, more Leo, more expression, more fire, more. That's, see, they have Taurus over their 5th house, which literally means it's kind of like having Leo over your 2nd house. The more creative Cancer are about their career, the more fun and funny they are, the more it's good for their income. It's a high vibrational quality that raises their income. But with Taurus over your 5th house, there's this income, money, stability done through creative projects. You're supposed to partner to creativity. It's a very abundant partnership for Capricorn. So Capricorn are going to break through there's some limited, I can think of somebody who is ascendant Capricorn, who has been working that work very, very diligently, very, very, very hard at projects that make money, and there's no joy, and they're very unhappy, and it's just like they're just a slave, right, to this job. And they just make that money, they just do it. They've got their just workhorses, right? And then they don't have any kind of fun, or they don't, there's just all work and no play. And that's the energy for Capricorn, is to learn all work and no play makes you really miserable. So there's this play element that has to be introduced to their work. And this Aquarius full moon, I think, brings a breakthrough. Now it might square how you earn money, because it's trying to tilt you to putting your focus more in a creative project. And then there's an opening that way. So you can go that way now. But again, a financial restriction might have to be worked out first. You may have to finish out a project first that is one that you don't like, but it earns you money. And then you'll be able to jump into this other project that's really going to liberate you financially. But the more creative a project the Capricorn move towards right now, the more liberated they will be financially. The more they go, what is the most inspiring thing for me right now? Leaning everybody, the less secure based you go, the more, because it's Scorpio South Node, which means I release my security, fear-based choices, and I leap into the joy of living, the excitement, what makes me feel ignited and alive. Uranus is electricity, it's fired up. The 5th house is inspiration. The more I'm inspired, the more life lives through me. And then the Chi universe is supporting me that way. You want to open up let the life force universe live through you. Capricorn, that's that, let go of that restriction, because that blocks the Chi force of life expansion.
So it almost feels like with Capricorns that there's a sense of, they're very, very methodical, very work driven, very security oriented. And so for them, particularly when it comes to finances, it's almost the sense of lean into what is playful and fun, especially right now. Yeah. And you might discover in that process, you're blocked going the way you really want to go. But you might discover in that process something new and different and unexpected and creative comes around that you never realized was there, and that you can move towards that. And that will be a potential place of liberation for you financially.
Yes, exactly. Because these retrograded planets want you to go inward and investigate. Because Saturn is squaring the Saturn full moon. The Saturn is in retrograde. So, it's like, it's going to reveal your true Saturn, your true purpose, your true calling. It's that feeds your soul, because Jupiter's in retrograde too, which is your calling as well. Well, Jupiter, it's going inward. It's like for instance, for Libra, they have Jupiter in retrograde in their 7th house. So they're going to want the real soul fulfillment relationship, and then it's going to attract you to the right relationship. You're going to, like, let's say you're going to go in a business partnership. You got to go from the soul connected relationship, because that will last 30 years. So you're going to shift out of the ego-based choices, because these are in retrograde planets.
Yeah. Wow. All right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So let's go to Aquarius, right?
Aquarius.
Yeah. Well,
Ooh.
rattle the Aquarian life. I think the Aquarians, because most Aquarians I know are, and when I say this, I don't mean in a bad way, but they tend to be sort of asleep. A lot of Aquarians are asleep. This isn't bad. This is because they are there's a DNA activation inside their psyche where they're going to be activated. And it's supposed to happen at the right time. And I don't mean that they're totally unawakened. I mean, they're unawakened to their true purpose as an Aquarian. They haven't seen that yet, because I know a lot of Aquarians. They don't know yet that they're here to lead us into the new age of Aquarians. And we're all waiting for the Aquarians to step forward and take us there, right? So for Aquarians, I say, this is you waking up to seeing life is so fun for you if you do it. It's so much more fun than being held back and secure. And because Aquarians have this they're ruled by Saturn, but there's this Aquarius rebellion thing. So there's this back and forth. They're schizophrenic in a way. I love Aquarians. I don't mean anything at all. It's just this energy is so electrical. It's going on right now. It's in the sign of Aquarius. So it's like they're going, I got to do this. I got to be free. I got to be wild. I got to be eccentric. I got to bust out, and live the Aquarian dream life, which is to be free and to live and to be eccentric and to have lots of fun with people around, groups, pulling people together, parties. So they're sort of breaking out of their own restricted self paradigm. They've done this because Saturn, Aquarius, they lean a little too far to Saturn rather than to the Aquarian. There's two Saturns. There's the Capricorn Saturn, there's the Aquarian Saturn. So if you're an Aquarian and you've been leading to the Capricorn Saturn, which is creating security, and now you're going to lean to the liberated Saturn, which is freedom, that's what we're going to see. The Aquarian go, I want freedom. I want to live my eccentric Aquarian self life, right? And then they have Taurus in the 4th house. So all of a sudden they might move and start traveling and roaming the world. They might liberate themselves from a property. They may suddenly dump a property, but frustrations over a property, limited, they might feel stuck around a property and they've been stuck too, because the thing that's going to liberate the Aquarian is that they've been stuck in a paradigm of security that has been really hard to break out of, because this is important. I think the Aquarians that are here as Aquarians have come as a big soul shift. So, which is to have total faith in this new vision of the new earth, which is to lead us into a higher vision of the future. And they're going to see that takes courage. You got to pull out of the old paradigm for that. And so I think the Aquarians are going to pull out of their own personal old paradigm and break free and be the liberators and rebels and crazy kind of fun initiations. They're going to bust out, but it's coming from a place of frustration, of being stuck in the Taurian element of their chart, which is as well because home has been too stifling, house, or maybe they've been too at home, and it's like, I gotta get out. But
and then it's the whole be patient with that process, you know, and it's beautiful for them that they feel that urge, that urge is awakening in them, whether or not they can take action right this minute or not.
But they might suddenly want to take action. But remember, if you suddenly want to take anything, don't do anything drastic. Just be patient. Do it the right way. That's going to create stability in the long haul. Taurus is not, again, we are creating stability too. So we're just opening up to how that, we're not fully aware of how that stability is supposed to be created. We're not cognizant of it completely. So so Aquarians are going to liberate their own selves completely. They're just going to be, I'm done with, you're going to see them maybe coming out in social media as being very radically different and Any Aquarians, you know, you might suddenly see them become very eccentric. And they're tired of themselves. It's like the sun getting over on myself. And there's this frustration with the self, the own self-limited, like me in the world. Like, why do I care so much about my face in the world? You know, it's like, I'm over me. I care about everybody else now. I want to know about the world. And I'm just an eccentric version of everybody else, you know, galvanizing people, coming together. It's fun. It's a good energy for Aquarians. I think it's a great time to be Aquarius. But I do think you're going to see the Aquarians step forward now and leading us more. You know, we need it.
All right, so the Aquarians are going to be liberated. What about Pisces?
So Pisces have Aquarius in their 12th house. So this is challenging. I'm Pisces moon. So 111 as I see this, where I am. So Pisces, and they have Taurus in their 3rd house. So restricted, finances, limiting, through travel, Aquarius. So this full moon is going to pull Aquarians very introverted. Pisces. Plus you're ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter's in retrograde. And you're ruled by Neptune. Is Neptune in retrograde? No, Neptune's going to be in retrograde, I think, soon. So you've got this introverted period now, Pisces and Sagittarius. Well, because Jupiter's in retrograde. So if things feel blocked for Pisces right now, it's good to go inward, investigate your true path, your soul. With Aquarius in your 12th house, it's almost like you're really trying to find your soul in the public. It's like you're trying to find what's true about how to present. Like, it is true, actually, because I'm a Pisces moon, and I've always trying to figure out what is my social media identity, and I still haven't found it, you know. So it's almost like Pisces are going to find, hopefully I find it. That'd be great. So it's not like an identity thing, but how to there's so many like tarot card readers on YouTube, and I love them too. They're great, but it's like, I don't know who to be in relation to all of that yet. So I'm digging in for that. So it's like Pisces are going to go investigate who they are in the grand scheme of things, because they're not extroverts, Pisces. They tend to be introverted, but there's something about who they are going to be in relation to the world. But there's this authentic truth about, and there's a frustration with what that authentic truth is, which is funny because that's what I'm doing. So it's like, the Pisces are gonna, and that block is frustration. It is frustrating, but there's going to be a breakthrough, and and it involves your 3rd house of communication, day to day. I mean, 3rd house is working, small business, putting a small business together. But also sudden change in the way that you do communicate to people. Pisces might suddenly become much more authentic, much less trying to create financial stability through communication. So it's almost, this is so interesting because it's exactly what I'm going through. I'm really reevaluating the way I am on my social media platforms, because am I on social media in a way to increase my career, or what? Like, what am I motivating to create security, or am I motivating to, because I'm devoted, which is Scorpio, because that's the opposite of Taurus. So it's like, am I devoted to my calling? Is that what's putting me on social media? Like, so you're releasing that. And that really opens up a whole way of doing it. Like, wow, if I'm not trying to market myself, and I'm really just trying to present my purpose, then it's like, what is that? So that's kind of what we're looking at here. And you're becoming introverted, because the 12th house is your soul, and Pisces, the Pisces are so 12th house anyway. And so it's like, what's the sudden revelation and breakthrough of frustration of who is your soul, that your Pisces are always going to be soulful. It's about their soul, and they're going to break through. And show in work or business communication who that is.
I just keep hearing, what's your why?
What's your why?
What's your
So
why?
why you're doing it?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what you got to find out. Why am I doing this? Well, I mean, right now I'm doing this with you because I genuinely really enjoy talking about astrology. And I think this is such an important topic. And I love others sharing in on this topic, and I educating the world about it and passing on all the information and creating more knowledge around it and helping people navigate these is fun and I think is important. So that's the why for me. And it's like, what else are we going to do? Like, I mean, what else matters in life? And so that might be the right why, might be,
Well, I think,
but
and
that's important.
right. And I think the answer to the why is personal.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I can totally relate to what you're saying. And at the same time,
Mm-hmm.
I could see somebody else saying, well, yeah, but I also want to make X number of dollars. And
Right.
so, so it's kind of like, what is your main motivation?
Right.
And really
And
then assess, okay,
mm-hmm.
where am I aligning up with that? And where am I not in alignment with that? And can I
Right.
shift it and change it, or do I need to let it go? And there may be some frustration around shifting and changing it, being
Yes.
blocked in some way,
Yeah, because it's gonna push you up against a fear, because, and this full moon will do that for everybody, will square you, because the reason you're making out of alignment choices that are not really your true destiny in your career is because of fear base. So you're making these choices that are tilting your personal real path. And so that fear is tilting you. So now you were being blocked. And so now you're going to have to look at your fear and go face that fear, kind of a thing. So trust, and then you're going to discover the fear was not neat. The fear is not true. You're going to find the other side of that fear, which is it's an illusion. All fears are an illusion. There is a path that's unfolding, whether you're afraid of it or not. Like, your destiny is lining up here.
Yeah.
So so the main thing is to stay out of fear, out of resistance, go with the flow, enjoy the sun, the Leo sun, but be aware of the squares and the other squaring energies, so that you make aware, you don't rush, and you stay in your self center.
Yeah.
Making aligned choices that flow with the way the squares are taking you, which is maybe just to go kayaking or paddleboarding.
Exactly. Well, and
Yeah.
as another little added tool for folks, if they are looking to track their moon cycles, I mentioned this in other lives, is if you sign up for my bi-monthly love letters, I call them, I share a little bit about the astrology. So if you miss one of these, there's links to connect with Madeleine and I in there. I share other upcoming events and other little things that are going on. But one of the best things I feel like in there is that I have a download for this moon magic sheet. So this is what I use myself. This is from last month. Last moon cycle. And basically I go over, it has everything is created for you. So you see the focus of this moon cycle. You can then go back and look at the last new moon and the last full moon. And once you start doing these, then you just put them together, and they can be printed, or I have them also in a PDF format. So if you don't want to write it out, you can just type the information in there as well. But what's really cool about it is, for instance, the last new moon was on June 29th in Cancer. And so there was an intention and a focus for that moon. And since then, what has happened? So it really allows you to keep track of what's actually happening in your life. And you can see in real time how the transits are affecting
manifesting
the moon. Right. Exactly. So
usually you're going to see, what I've been seeing, well, I think it's great that you're doing that. That's fun. What a great idea. What I find is you're usually going to see a correlation between the new moon and then the 6 months later full moon.
you'll see the manifestation of that at that point. But what I've noticed is that there are small steps, because you don't start from A and jump to Z. You've got to go through B and Y. And so people tend to feel frustrated and feel like they're not moving because they don't feel like they're getting to Z fast enough. So by doing this practice, I found for myself personally that I can see that I am making progress.
That's a good idea.
I can see that things are moving forward.
Nice.
And then when I don't see a change, then it's a sign to me, okay, what am I missing? You know, what do I need to potentially work on or look at differently? Am I blocking myself in some way from the manifestation to occur, for the manifestation to occur? So I just think it's a simple, easy way. It only takes a few minutes once you get on the roll of it. My guy and I do this every moon cycle. We pull some cards, we discuss the energy of each of our sun, moon, and rising. We kind of talk about what's coming up. I set my own intention for me. He sets his own in his own way. We both have our own individual experience there, but it's kind of cool when you're in a relationship to be able to see how you're tracking with one another and how that person's energy is affecting you and vice versa.
Wow.
So so if anyone's interested in getting that, that's free for my love letter subscribers. If you go to Karmic, KARMIC Kindness, KINDNESS.com. There might be a little pop-up. If not, you'll just see on the bottom right corner, newsletter, AKA love letters. Click that and you can sign up. It's super, super easy. And I don't spam you. You just get these bi-monthly notes. You know, every now and then I might share something really exciting with you, but it's pretty low key. So that's available for anyone who is interested.
That's
and and then if you're just looking for any support, Madeleine and I are here for you in whatever way you need.
I'm also starting a next course. I just finished one 6-week course of astrology. I teach basic first level astrology, and it's a live Zoom thing. Everybody gets chart reads as we go. And I also teach the tarot, how to work with tarot and your chart. Plus we talk about other spiritual things. It's really a general all around sort of spiritual workshop using divination. So if you want to know more about that, I will put my email address down below. I only do the small groups. We're like 6-7 people. And also, of course, if you want a private session, my link is below. Feel free to email me.
Yes.
I don't like the scheduling app. I keep messing it up. I have one and it just, I don't know why I mess it up, but so I'm better with email or text. So
anyway. So I think the basic premise for Madeleine is just reach out to her directly. That's the best way to go. That
just works best. Yeah. Cause I keep messing up the app because I keep not seeing it. It doesn't, maybe it's the app I'm using. It doesn't give me a reminder. So anyway, hope everybody enjoyed today. That was fun.
Yes, it definitely was. It definitely was. So thank you as always, Madeleine, for being here.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Thank you everyone for joining us and sticking with us. And we will be back here in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Talking about the Virgo.
What is the next one? Oh, is it a Virgo new moon? Oh, fabuloso.
Yeah.
We do have some good Virgo energy at the end of the month with Mercury going into Virgo. It might even be in Virgo right now. I'm not sure. But anyway,
I think it just moved better
this week, this couple weeks. Everybody sit tight. It's going to get better.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Take care.
Lots of love. Take care.
See you soon. Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.